Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Low Key Chaotic. How are you guys doing? The other day, my friend told me, like, she was talking about somebody, and then her friend said to her, "Oh, you mean your friend with the I Hate Men podcast?" If that isn't a compliment, no, honestly, like, if that's my brand now, I'm not mad at it. But also, I do not want this to turn into a I Hate Men podcast because I don't hate men. This is actually a podcast to help men understand us better and be better people. This podcast should actually be called I Love Men because they should use it as a tool to grow. Genuinely, but obviously I get it, like people just scroll through my clips that I post online and a lot of them are about the topics of men and patriarchy and sex and dating and God knows what, and a lot of the topics that I promote the podcast with is like the relatable shit, and we have all gone through shit as women that was pain caused by men. So of course, like, I get it, like people see the clips and they're like, oh, she's just one of those men haters. But if you were to actually take that extra step of listening to the episodes, I think you would have a different opinion. And if you would want to become a better person and grow and be an ally to women, then I think you would actually enjoy the podcast. The problem is that the people or the men that are down to listen to the podcast and use it as a tool to understand us better are men that probably don't even need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the actual red flags wouldn't even take the time to fucking tune in. But whatever. I just thought that was funny. I'm the girl with the I Hate Men podcast. It's hilarious. And today we're getting into another topic that kind of is building off of what we spoke about last week. Last week we spoke about how we were raised to be desirable, and that's all we've ever been taught. And we've never been taught to want anything. We've always just been taught to be wanted. And I think that's a good topic to build off of and to talk about the male gaze now. Like, what is the male gaze? Where does it come from? The male gaze, let's get into it. I've had many phases in my life where I've actively catered to the male gaze. I think the top phase of my life where I did that, I was a teenager because I lived in a place where it was very popular to go to those bottle service clubs where you're only allowed to wear heels and short dresses. And I would argue that that was like the one moment in my life where I was like textbook male gaze person. Short dresses, heels, the red lipstick, whatever. At the time, obviously, you're still very young. Your frontal lobe hasn't fully developed. You just think that this is what matters. You want that sort of attention. You want to be wanted. That was the kind of validation you just think matters. Not at that age. For some people, they think that kind of validation matters throughout their whole life. For me, it was at that age, right? And the older I got, the more it disgusted me. Genuinely, it gives me the ick now that I thought that was the way forward. But whatever. I don't even need to be so hard on myself. What the fuck? I was a teenager. Anyways, so I rebelled, right? I started hiding in big hoodies, no makeup, hair messy on purpose. I thought this is the power. I'm not performing for them anymore. But then I read that Margaret Atwood quote. The one that says, even pretending you aren't catering to male fantasies is a male fantasy. And then it hit me like a fucking brick. Because yeah, I wasn't specifically dressing for them anymore, but I was still thinking about them. I was still curating my look to say, I don't care. Still trying to signal that I'm not like the other girls. Still performing just for a different version of the same audience. Because there is no escape. Even when you're not being watched, you're watching yourself. Fixing your shirt. Adjusting your posture, checking if you look cool or effortlessly hot. There's this man inside of your head always watching, always judging, always approving. And he's not real, but he lives there. And it's not just about men. It's about a system that taught you your worth as how good you look being looked at. So no, I don't wear those types of dresses anymore, but I'm not free. And that's what Margaret Atwood meant, and that's what we're getting into today. So when I look back at old posts, like things I used to post on Instagram, I am like shook to my core because at the time I really believed that I liked what I was posting. And I mean, it's never like a thing of like you're sitting there and you're uploading the picture and you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing this for the male gaze. Like, no, you do think to yourself, I feel good, I feel hot, I feel confident, and I need a sip of water. So you do think to yourself, I feel good, I feel hot, I feel confident, but now I cannot unsee how much of that confidence was built on being desirable to men. Or maybe more specifically in my case, to a man, because I remember posting a lot of those pictures with my ex in mind, because I only cared about getting his attention and validation around that time in my life. And for my friends listening, I know when I mention this time in my life, they know exactly what I'm talking about, because the pictures I used to post, like, what? Anyways, it's tricky because I don't think that we lie to ourselves on purpose. I just think we're taught to confuse validation with self-worth. And when we like grow up constantly being observed and complimented or like rewarded for how we look, we just start performing. Even when you think you're being authentic, you're still fucking performing. And now that I've detached from that specific gaze with the short dresses and the heels, I notice how gross it feels when it still tries to reach me. Like, even now where I'm wearing big hoodies and shit and whatever, I'm walking down the street and I'll still catch a guy staring at me. Like, one time I walked down the street in the most oversized clothing known to man, and a dude looks at me and literally stares me in the eyes and just says verbatim, word for word, nice titties. Like, can you believe that? That is insane. That is insane. But okay, that's a bit of like that's a kind of I don't want to call it an extreme example, because it's not an extreme example, but it's a very specific example, because the everyday shit that we go through as women is men just like staring at us, and they're currently fucking you with their imagination. They're undressing you like with their imagination. You're just walking down the street, minding your fucking business, not even trying to look like you want anyone's attention, but that doesn't do anything. Like, men don't care about it like that. They see you and they're horny, so they think about how you would look giving them a blowjob in that fucking moment, because so many men are disgusting like that. So anyways, it's not even just a look. It's like that lingering, just almost predatory thing. It's that like I just said, undressing me with their eyes, imagining what it'd be like if we'd fuck. Like, it makes me want to puke. This is why I'm so uncomfortable. Like, when you leave the house during the day, I can tune out the rest of the world pretty good because I'm like listening to music, whatever. But if I'm like going out and I'm like going somewhere, and you know how it is, the nightlife is like there for people to fuck. Like, people go out because they want to fall in love, because they want to have sex, because they want to meet new people. So that energy just lingers already when it's a normal night out on a weekend. So whenever I go out on the weekend and I know that that's the energy that I'm going to like be around, because that's just how the world works, I literally have such a hard time not having anxiety, because I know I'm about to walk down the street past this bar or this restaurant with those tables outside, and I know that at least 20 of the men sitting there are gonna look at me or my ass as I'm walking past, and it makes my skin crawl every fucking time. Not because I'm insecure, but I am a little bit, but not just because I'm a little bit insecure, but because I feel reduced to just my body. I'm like so sick and tired of being reduced to how I fucking look. Genuinely. I'm like sick and tired of feeling reduced to just being a fantasy, something they can just take whenever they want. I'm just fucking over it. I'm so over it. And I used to, I don't know, bro. And I don't even want to I don't want to be a hypocrite, because I know we do that too. Like, I know we can sit somewhere and look at cute boys walking past and like objectify them also, you know what I mean? But I feel like every time women do anything of that sort, it's like fucking punching up. You know what I'm saying? we're punching up, okay? And getting our fist hurt in the meantime. So it's not like an equal fucking playing field at all. Anyways, after like that tight dress heels phase when I was a teenager, like I said, I went a full 180. I started dressing like I was trying to disappear. Oversized clothing, no cleavage, barely any makeup, hair undone, like just a uniform that made me feel somewhat safe and untouchable and neutral. But I still cared. Like I still wanted to, like I don't know, I wanted to not be seen, but I wanted to be seen not being seen. Does that make sense? Like I wanted men to look at me and think, oh, she's not trying. Like she's not like the other girls. She's so cool. Like it was rebellion, but it was still performance. I wasn't free. I am not free. None of us are free. I was just trying to find a different way to be desirable without admitting that I wanted to be desirable. And that's when I kind of started asking myself if everything I've worn, every way I've moved, every picture I've posted, whether it's sexy or I don't care, has been shaped by how I think I'm being perceived, then what do I actually want to look like? Who am I performing for when no one's watching? And honestly, I still don't fucking know. And that's the part that haunts me every fucking day, because even now, when a man looks at me, I feel this weird mix of anger and shame. Like he's taking something from me with his eyes, like he's fucking me with his imagination. And even if I'm not trying to be hot, I know he thinks I am, or worse, he thinks I'm trying and failing. So I keep trying to disappear. But that's not freedom either. And it's honestly gotten like even worse with social media. We're not just performing for men anymore. We're performing for everyone. The algorithm, the followers, the random girls we don't know but secretly compete with. Like even content that's supposed to be empowering can still be shaped by the same gaze. Like, is this outfit really me? Is it giving authentic, natural baddie? Like sometimes I post a photo and I feel amazing, and sometimes I'm just low-key asking the internet to remind me I still matter. And I don't know, I don't always know which one it is. And you know what the worst part is about like thinking you're rebelling against things like the male gaze is that nowadays rebellion isn't even fucking real anymore, because everything's a fucking vibe. Everything's a fucking vibe and a fucking aesthetic. You shave your head and it's bald baddie. You wear sweats and suddenly it's a whole anti-it girl look. Even being against beauty gets commodified. And to all my babies out there, wait, baby sounds degrading. I meant that in a loving way. To my sweet little honey darlings, if you don't know what commodified means, which I'm telling you this now because I want you to know what it means. And I know that there's some people out there that may be listening to this that don't know what it means. And I want us all to be on the same page. Commodification basically means when something gets turned into a product, like a commodity is something you can sell, like coffee, soap, or your trauma, or your silence, or your body, or your disinterest, your rage. Like it's, I don't care what I look like, sponsored by Glossier. You know what I mean? That's to commodify something. Love you. And I mean, how are we supposed to rebel when rebellion itself is trending? You know what I fucking mean? I'll wear no makeup and hide behind a hoodie and it's an aesthetic. It's pinned to someone's inspo board on Pinterest. Like, it's still desirable in a cool girl way who doesn't try too hard kind of way. And the moment it becomes desirable again, it's no longer freedom. Do you hear me? Like, do you get what I'm fucking saying? So you're still being seen through a lens that isn't yours, and you're still being watched and low-key performing. And it's not just the male gaze anymore. It's also the female gaze, the TikTok gaze, the fashion gaze, the brand gaze. Like, I don't even know which part of me is me anymore. Is this hoodie because I feel safe in it? Or is it because I saw someone post an outfit dump in one? Like, and that's what fucking pisses me off. I don't know if you can be hot and free at the same damn time. Maybe sometimes. But most of the time, I feel like I'm picking. Do I want to feel seen or do I want to feel safe in my own skin? There are moments where I feel so powerful in my body, but then there are moments where I know I'm dressing or posting or speaking just to be approved of again. And yeah, I want to be hot. I like feeling hot. But what is being hot? What is being hot without the male gaze? Is that even a thing? Like, will we ever know what it's like to be hot without the male gaze? Because if everything is the male gaze, even when we try to cater to not cater to a male fantasy, and that is still catering to a male fantasy, then what is being hot without the male gaze? And dude, the male gaze doesn't even need men to be present. Like, it so often shows up in, like, girl groups, for example, in the club bathroom, in the group chat, the way we, like, size each other up. Like, we don't talk enough about the way we look at each other as women through the lens of desirability. Like, we've learned that to be seen as valuable, we have to be desirable. So even when we look at each other, we're asking, would a man choose her over me? Is she cooler than me? Is she the main character now? And that's so fucked up. Because instead of just being, we start performing, even for each other. Like, we mirror each other's style. We feel shame when we can't keep up. We compare how we eat, how we pose. We treat femininity like a competition when it was meant to be a communion. And there's this feeling that someone always has to be the hot friend and someone else has to be the funny one or the weird one. Like, we can't all just be whole. Like, the world isn't big enough for all of us to shine. We don't do this on purpose. Like, we've just inherited it from movies that, like, pit women against each other, from how many followers on IG do you have, how many likes, who's in your DMs. Like, oh my God. From growing up in a world that taught us we're either the chosen one or invisible. Like, even compliments, like those backhanded compliments, like, oh, you're so confident for wearing that. Slay, but like, you're so brave. It's so bad. I could never pull that off, but you do it so well. Like, bro, it's crazy how we scan each other and how we, like, overperform just to prove that we belong and that we have some sort of value. And sometimes we feel closer to each other by gossiping about the other girl who's not in the room. Like, because if we can agree she's too much, then maybe we feel like we're just right. I get it. Everybody loves to gossip. And I think, like, having tea time is so natural. And it's just a part of being human and being part of a society. But we can all agree on the fact that there's been so many moments where we've gossiped about other people just to make ourselves feel better. And it's what it is. But it's like, damn. And sisterhood, it shouldn't feel like it's about, like, surveillance. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't meant to feel pretty next to someone. We were meant to feel free with them. So what would it look like to unlearn this gaze? To show up with the full weight of who you are, like your weirdness, your flaws, your unmatched socks and undone hair and your weird fucking laugh, and still feel celebrated instead of studied, or like you're doing it to rebel, but then you're still doing it to fit in to a box. I don't know. There are many moments where I feel free when I'm dancing alone with no camera, when I'm surrounded by women who make me forget to think about my body, when I'm swimming and moving and laughing and just with my friends and family. And that's how I want to feel 24/7. There's no perfect fix. The gaze is everywhere. It's in us. It's never going to fucking leave us. It's in the media. It's in our habits. It's literally in our fucking bones. But what we can do is be aware of it, notice it, interrupt it, question it. And before you post something, ask, who is this for? And I'm never going to be one of those cool motherfuckers that will just not adhere to these norms. Like, sure, I can sit there and look at my Instagram post and be like, oh, who is this actually for? But I'm still going to end up posting it. The fuck? Which sounds like I'm a fucking idiot because I'm making a whole podcast episode about what the male gaze is and whatnot, and I should maybe lead with example. But what the hell? Like, I am also somebody that wants to feel loved and validated and that cares about if her picture gets likes on Instagram. And to be somebody that can fully detach from those norms, from that standard, that can post a picture on Instagram and not give a fuck how many people like it, like, that is so fucking cool. And I think that takes so much self-love and confidence. And I'm really excited to hopefully one day be that person. But as of right now, I care so much about validation, it's actually kind of fucked, to be honest. Like, I care, I don't know, I feel like you might understand how much I care about validation going by everything I've told you about myself in this episode. But it's never like in a way where it's never like I'm desperate to get the validation of men. Like, I never do shit to like get them to like pick me. Like, I'm not a pick me girl, but I do care enough about validation to do things like this. Share my thoughts on the internet because I think they matter enough. You know, I think my thoughts are important enough to put them out there and to have people listen to them and to build a community that agrees with me or wants to learn from me and that I can learn from. But so we're here to like validate each other's presence and feelings. Like, is validation, like, is it something, do animals have this too? Like, is it natural that we seek validation? Like, obviously it's natural to want to be part of a specific group and not feel like alone and like an outcast. So in that sense, it makes complete sense. So do we then just have to ask ourselves, like, what type of validation we're seeking? Is one validation worse than the other? Is it worse to want validation from men? Is it worse to want validation from women? Is it worse to want validation from people in general? Or is it all the same type of bad? Or is it bad at all? Is it also just what it is and it's just fine and it's just how the world fucking works? I don't know. And regardless of the fact that we're never going to be free of the man that's inside of us always watching, it's nice to know it's nice to be like aware that he's there. You know what I'm saying? And maybe the baby steps we can take is like, stop giving a fuck when our skirt doesn't sit properly, or stop giving a fuck how we look when we like walk away. You know what I'm saying? Like, those mini baby steps, like, stop overthinking those things. And then you get more and more used to like not trying to do everything for this man that's inside you that's always watching. I don't know. Obviously, I'd love to hear from you guys and your experiences. You can comment here on Spotify or on TikTok or on Instagram. You can write me a message. Like, I want to know about you guys' experience with this. When do you feel the most free in your bodies? When do you forget to perform? When do you feel like you can just be yourself if you even know who you are? You know where to find me, Low-Key Chaotic Podcast, everywhere. I love y'all, and I'll see you next week.